approval of the conflict waiver for Severson Porter to represent Visit Brainerd. That was added earlier today. Hard copy of that is laid in front of you.
Okay. All right. We'll move on. Following items are considered non-controversial by staff and are recommended to be read and passed upon motion. Any council person, staff, citizen, or meeting attendee can request one or more items be pulled from the consent agenda. The item will be pulled and addressed immediately after the passage of the consent agenda. Otherwise, the following items will be passed in one motion. Number one, approve the city council work session minutes from January 21st, 2025. Number two, approve city council minutes from January 21, 2025. Number three, approve the payment of bills and finance report. Number four, approve unpaid leave of absence retroactive to December 19th, 2024, and authorize the continuation of the city's contribution towards health, dental, and life insurance premiums for Keith Binsfield through February 10th, 2025. Number five, approve purchase of easements for parcels 400500608, 400500614, 400500719, 400500532, and 400500721 for the 2025 Design Road Trunk Highway 371 Stormwater Improvements Project. Number six, adopt resolution 2025-018, authorize advancement of municipal state aid funds for the 2022 Trunk Highway 210 Inglewood Drive Road Improvement Project and the 2025 Design Road and Trunk Highway 371 Stormwater Improvements Project. Number seven, approve lawful gambling permit for the Lakes Area Habitat for Humanity to conduct a lawful gambling raffle on May 21st, 2025 at Jack Pine Brewery.
Can I ask the number seven people?
Pull number seven. Number eight, approve conditional hire of Roland Mattis and Nolan Gustafson as patrol officer. Number nine, approve conflict waiver for Severson Porter to represent Visit Brainerd.
Move to approve the consent agenda minus the pulled item.
Second.
Motion by Tavitt, second by Leslie, all in favor.
Aye.
Okay, number seven, approve the lawful gambling permit.
So I asked that one to be pulled because I am the owner of Jack Pine Brewery and I'm abstaining from voting on that one.
Okay,
Having heard that, I will move for approval.
And I will second.
motion by Tavitt, second by Leslie, all in favor.
Aye.
Opposed, same sign, motion carries. Other business, number nine, Brad.
Yes, during work session last, on January 21st, council heard from representative from Winsett regarding the feasibility report for the Brentwood Circle project, which is tentatively slated for 2026. Based upon that feedback, the council asked for a few clarifications as it related to the feasibility report. We're looking for council to approve, or not approve, but to accept the report as written or with the modifications for the two items. The two items that sought clarification were the cost savings from reducing the road width from 26 to 24. That's been provided, it's in the packet. The other one was to know what the city share would be, or the adjustments to the city share from changing the ERUs from 13 ERUs to 11. That is based upon the difference between including the corner lots or not into the assessment portion of the project. So I know Eric Welch from Woodset is here to answer any additional questions, but we're looking for council to take action on this by accepting it either as is or as modified, related to the two items that I just summarized.
Okay, there was quite a bit of discussion on whether those corner lots should be divided or not. And or like Brad said, they were asked to come back with what the difference would be. And I don't know what, many of our thoughts have changed since then. And also the width of the road.
say I was intending to kind of hijack this on the width of the road situation.
Okay.
All right. I would like for us to have a serious discussion about changing the city code. And I think it ties into this pretty specifically. It was referenced in the follow-up to this. I'll just accept that the cost savings would only be $4,000 to $5,000, although it seems like every other thing we do costs way more money than that. Just the amount of pavement put down in the roundabout is something that kind of is a concern to me in the cul-de-sac portion. I apologize. A 60-foot cul-de-sac is the code, I believe. If we were to drop that to even 50, it wouldn't just be the equivalent of a 10-foot savings in terms of asphalt being put down because of the geometry with the circle. You'd be saving significantly more in putting things down that way. In essence, I looked at the chart and I did some good old-fashioned Dr. Google type research and found that there are some lane width recommendations from people like the NACTO and the Federal Highway Administration. According to one document I found from the FHA, 9 to 12 foot is normal. I think when you're looking at a dead-end road like this, I would be okay with something like a 10-foot lane when you're looking at it's not going to see high speeds, it's not going to see high traffic levels, and it just doesn't make sense to me that we would put down more pavement than is necessary for these kinds of roads. I would argue that 12-foot lanes would be acceptable for when we have our chart from the city code. We've got principal arterial, minor arterial, rural, and major urban collectors. All of those big roads could go to 12 feet in my opinion, and I fully respect engineers' opinions and will take all of that guidance as such. But I also think that we can go down to things like 11 feet for a rural minor collector, 10 feet for local streets. We can maintain 12 in industrial districts, 11 in commercial, 10 on a street with a trail. Cul-de-sac radiuses could be dropped from the chart shows 60 as our standard, and then with a surface width of 80. I'm maybe not fully understanding exactly the technical details of that, but I think I saw as low as 40 foot in some other cities as options for that. Private streets, I don't see why they need to be 26 feet wide. I think 20 would be acceptable when you look at what a private street ends up being in effectively a dead end into a small neighborhood. As an example, I don't know. I'll just describe it. I found a picture from a Minnesota engineering conference of a 28-foot wide local street, and it shows a Toyota Tacoma on one side with walking space between that and a full-size hook and ladder truck, with walking space between that and a Oldsmobile Alero, all fitting side by side inside a 20-foot local street. And what that tells me is that when you have 13-foot lanes plus 2 feet on each side, you've got way more space than you need for fire trucks to get where they need to go if you can fit a Tacoma and an Alero and walk between all of them. I just am going to make the argument that it's time to change the city code so that we don't have to listen to me ask why the lanes are getting wider every time we have a project. So my ask would be that we speed up a conversation about that topic, and I would be willing to accept the concept that maybe we can tweak the code as it pertains to dead-end streets first. I don't know if that's an appropriate way to handle it, but I've been talking about this for quite a while, and I feel like I've just got to rip the Band-Aid off and ask that we actually make that change.
And you won me over listening to you. I didn't quite understand what you were speaking of for the first year or two, but now I'm on board.
I'm just gonna play the devil's advocate with you for a minute here, and in the Southdale, we've lived in Southdale for 46 years, a lot of starter homes here, which is what it was for us. I don't know how many houses are there, 80 houses, whatever, tons of families, tons of kids. And there's tons of walking down to the park. And my concern is that right now, there's so much traffic on that street, people are trying to walk when a car comes, they're heading to the trees to get off to get out of the way. I know we're not talking about those streets because they're not, but in a situation like that, in a residential area like that, I look at it, I think we're gonna, are we gonna really bring those in 2 feet? They're running for their lives right now, and a lot of them say, well, why can't we have a trail? Well, it's too late, it's done, it's a done deal there. Brentwood is a different story, it's a single dead end road, I understand that, but I don't know. And that's for discussion when this comes up again, but I look at my neighborhood and boy, it's pretty busy, and I don't know about, fire engines and whatever else is gonna be in there. How many people are gonna walk between a fire engine and a car? But I know that right now, they're all heading to the tree line when a car comes in, it's very often, it's tremendous traffic coming in and out of there. So I don't know if one size fits all, but I'm certainly willing to have that conversation. I know where you're coming from, your heart is right, and your pocketbook is even righter, and I agree, and I understand that, but it'll be interesting to have that conversation. For tonight, what's on the agenda is still, is what, the 26th and splitting the lots, or what?
26 to 24, I think, right?
Yeah, the 2 items that were left uncertain at the conclusion of the work session was the road width and the number of assessments.
So what are our thoughts on the lot splits? Do we want to not do it?
I would be comfortable not splitting. I think Mark threw out a figure at the last meeting that the cost to the homeowner would be so excessive that I don't want to do that.
Well, I've seen like Baxter city lots, with accessible sewer and water are going for like 19 grand right now. And we're looking at like lots that, in order to divide this out, it would be a near minimum lots. We're talking about like a third of an acre at best. And I would be, to your point about, yeah, we're gonna not do this and then they're gonna divide it and we're gonna have to stub in sewer and water there. But, there's gotta be a point where it's just not worth it, to carve it out and get a really small lot. I'd be a little bit more on the flip side if those 2 corner lots were already being assessed for this road, but they are just, it's their side road. They've already got sewer and water from the front.
Yeah. Right. Okay, somebody make a motion, or?
I will make a motion to approve whatever is written, I don't have it in front of me right now, to accept the 2026 Brentwood Circle sanitary sewer and roadway improvements feasibility report.
Motion by Connie.
Is, point of clarification, is that as written or based on modifications that you'd like to see?
Based on modification.
The modification is the 24-foot and the 11 ERUs, or is it one or the other?
No, both.
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 Okay, so clarification, what was the motion again?
As it's written, going to the 11 ERU assessments and doing the 24-foot wide road versus the 26-foot wide road.
So they're gonna reduce it to 24, is that what you're saying?
Yes.
Okay.
seconded, making the compromise that we're not adding to pavement.
Second by Talbot, any further discussion? I did my best last week, you were here to help. All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
All same sign, motion carries. Okay. Now we're off to the races with council comments.
I have no comment.
Zach?
1 second, I just want to make sure I got it all out of my system. Oh, shoot, I just forgot I had a note, there might have been a typo in that feasibility report. It looked like on page 10, there was an assessment calculation that said $3,000 per year for 15 years, which I think was just a typo. So I would ask that you double check that.
Yeah, I found it and I already corrected it.
Okay, perfect. All right, then I have no comments.
And Patrick?
Yeah, just to like to remind, I don't know if people are on the email list, but the next open house for the 210-371 is the full interchange there. It was the 12th, so it's an afternoon. Mark your calendar. There's an afternoon and an evening one too. So
Okay.
I don't know which one I'll be at yet, but love to see you guys there too.
And I don't know. City Administrator?
Well, Councilmember Sundberg stole my thunder. That context, no, just we'll further elaborate, the second open house for the 371 overpass project is scheduled for next Wednesday, the 12th. There are 2 sessions, the open house, there's one in the afternoon, that's from 1 to 2:30. The other one is from 4 to 6 p.m. I encourage anybody who's interested in that to hear the progress that MnDOT's making, the alternatives that you got a preview on in early January that'll be shared with the public. With that, then it opens up a comment period for the public to speak on. So looking for anybody who's interested to attend it. If you are unable to attend, the project website, which is on MnDOT's, or page, which is on MnDOT's website, you go under construction projects and click on 371, Highway 371, it'll pop up. There is a presentation that's on YouTube of what they're gonna go over, or will be, I should say, I don't know if it's live yet. And then a survey there as well, so for the public to provide comments that are at MnDOT's district office here in Baxter.
That's a ways off yet, but I see eggs and issues is coming up too, and sometimes that fills up too, but,
Yeah, I just learned of the date today, so
okay. City Administrator, that was it.
that is all.
One city attorney.
Yes, we're proposing to go into closed session pursuant to Minnesota statute for an attorney-client privilege discussion related to